You've been quiet for too long. The world learned it could walk right over you, and you let it. Every insult, every glance that said you weren't enough, each one dug another hole in you until you stopped fighting back. Now you sit there, staring at the floor, wondering how it got this bad. You know how. You gave them permission. You gave them your silence, your doubt, your belief that somehow they knew better than you did. And now, you can't even remember what your own voice sounds like. It's all noise in your head, every lie they ever told you on repeat. They told you you'd never make it, and you believed them. They told you you were weak, and you nodded. They told you the world doesn't care, and you agreed, because it was easier than proving them wrong. But I'm going to say it plain. This world doesn't care, not because it hates you, but because it's busy feeding on anyone who stands still long enough to be eaten. You became still. You became food. Every day you wake up and tell yourself you'll change something, anything. But by night, you're right back here. Same corner, same thoughts, same ache that never leaves your chest. You wonder if this is it. Maybe this is just how it ends. Maybe some people are meant to drown quietly. You keep waiting for a sign, for somebody to pull you out, but no one's coming. You know it. Deep down, you've always known it. Still you wait, because the alternative terrifies you more. The idea that you'll have to crawl out with your own hands, that you'll have to tear through the mud and the blood by yourself. That's the real fear, not the darkness, but what you'll have to become to climb out of it. You used to have dreams. You remember them in flashes, faces, places, light so bright it burned. You don't talk about them anymore because they hurt. The gap between who you were supposed to be and who you are now is too wide to look at. So you close your eyes and pretend you never cared. That's what dying alive looks like. You blame the world, the system, the people who left you behind. And yeah, they did their share of damage. But the truth is uglier. You helped them. You handed them the knife. Every time you believed them, every time you called yourself nothing, you tightened the rope around your own neck. The world didn't put its knee there. You did. That's the part you can't stand to hear. That's the part that burns, because it means the only way out is through yourself. No excuses, no savior, no one to scream at but the person in the mirror. You hate that person right now. You see the wasted time, the failed chances, the people who walked away. You see weakness where there should have been fire. But listen close. Hate is still energy. It's still heat. If you're feeling that, you're not done yet. You think pain means the end, but pain is proof you're still alive. Numbness, that's death. Pain means there's something left to fight for, even if you don't remember what it is. Look around. Everyone's busy pretending. They hide behind screens, behind smiles, behind noise. You think they care about your fall? They don't. They're too scared you might stand up again and remind them what real struggle looks like. They'd rather you stay down. It makes them feel safe. Let them feel safe. You've got something else. You've got rage. It's buried under exhaustion and fear, but it's there. You can feel it when you clench your fists, when you hear the same old lies echoing in your head. That's the spark they tried to bury. That's the reason you're still breathing. But right now, you're at the bottom. The air down here is thick, heavy, full of ghosts whispering all the reasons you should stay where you are. It's over. You tried. You gave your best. Lies dressed as comfort. If you listen long enough, they'll lull you to sleep and call it peace. Don't let them. Don't you dare. You've seen what happens when people stop fighting. You've seen them fade, eyes empty, voices flat, walking corpses with smiles painted on. They call it acceptance. It's surrender. You're not built for that. You wouldn't still be listening if you were. Every scar you've got, every failure, every betrayal, it's ammunition. It's not weight, it's weaponry. You just forgot how to use it. You keep asking why it hurts so much. Because you're still alive, idiot. Because somewhere inside you there's still a version of yourself that refuses to die, and it's clawing at the wall, screaming to be let out. That's what you're feeling. That's the war under your skin. You think nobody sees you. Good. They don't have to. This isn't for them. This fight, this climb, it's yours. No spotlight, no applause, just the sound of your own breath and the blood in your ears. That's how legends start. Quietly, in the dark, when no one's paying attention. You want to know what's waiting if you give up? Nothing. Just another nameless body swallowed by the noise. The world moves on and you vanish. That's the truth. You become one more ghost whispering could have been into the wind. But if you stand up, if you claw your way out inch by inch, every bruise becomes a story, every failure a scar worth showing. That's how you take back your name. You're not going to find peace at the bottom. There's no peace in pretending you don't care. There's only rot. The only way out is movement, ugly, painful, endless movement. So breathe. Yeah, it burns. I know. It's supposed to. That's oxygen finding its way back into your lungs. That's life creeping in. You've been here too long. Time to move. Not tomorrow. Now. This is the part nobody tells you about. The stretch of emptiness between deciding to change and seeing it happen. It's where most people quit. They get a taste of the climb, feel how steep it is, and crawl back into the pit. You won't. You can't. You already know what staying down feels like. The climb might kill you, but staying here will bury you alive. You're going to hate the beginning. You'll drag yourself through the first few steps, every muscle screaming, every thought begging you to stop. You'll hear that voice again, soft, convincing. Why bother? When it comes, you don't argue, you don't reason, you keep moving, you drown it out with action. That's the only language the darkness understands. And when you slip, and you will, you don't start over, you just keep going. There is no clean slate. There's only forward. The dirt on your hands is proof you're fighting. The blood on your knuckles means you're close. Every fall is another lesson in how not to die. You don't need hope. Hope is fragile. You need hunger. Hunger never breaks. Hunger doesn't care how tired you are. It just wants more. Remember this feeling. The cold, the emptiness, the humiliation. Burn it into your memory. It's going to be the fire that drives you. Every time you think about quitting, you'll taste this moment again, and it'll remind you why you can't go back. You think you're broken. You're not.
You're being forged. Every strike, every disappointment, it's the hammer shaping steel. You just haven't cooled yet. So sit with it, feel it. Let the weight crush the old you. When you stand, and you will, you'll be something else. Harder, sharper, dangerous in a way the world won't know how to handle. That's enough for now. Rest if you must, but don't close your eyes. The climb hasn't even started yet.
You move. Barely at first, just a tremor in the dark, but it's enough to break the stillness. The pit hates that. It whispers louder, tries to pull you back with every memory of failure it can find. You ignore it. You focus on the sound of your own breath, on the tiny scrape of skin against stone. That's momentum. That's life. Every inch hurts. The dirt cuts. The air burns, but pain is the only thing that's real right now. You keep climbing because there's nothing else left to do. The body doesn't want to. The mind begs you to stop, but something deeper, a part of you that doesn't even speak, keeps dragging you forward. It doesn't care about pride or reason. It just wants out. You remember every word they said, every laugh behind your back, every time someone called you a waste of space. You carry those echoes with you. They're lighter than you thought. They don't crush you anymore. They drive you. Each insult is a step. Each betrayal, another handhold. You're building your staircase out of their doubt. The climb takes time. The world doesn't change for you. The sun doesn't rise faster because you've decided to fight. You'll still wake up to bills, to broken things, to people who don't care. But you'll also wake up to yourself, and that's enough. Because once you remember what you are, they can't take it again. You start to see light, just a shimmer at first. You don't trust it. Light has lied before. But this one doesn't fade when you reach for it. It waits. You drag yourself closer, one breath at a time, until you can finally feel it on your face. It doesn't feel like salvation. It feels like responsibility. Because now you know you can't go back. Up here, the world is just as cruel as it was before, maybe worse. You can see it clearly now. The chaos, the indifference, the people clawing at each other for scraps of meaning. But you're different. You've learned the rules. You don't wait for mercy. You take what's yours and you guard it with everything you've got. You stop apologizing for being hungry. You stop asking for permission to exist.
You walk through the noise and let it break against you like rain. They stare because they can feel it, the shift. You don't need their approval anymore. You never did. You still bleed, of course. The world never runs out of knives. But now every cut is a reminder that you're still in the fight. You clean the wound and you keep moving. That's all survival ever was. People start to notice. They come to you with the same stories you used to tell, voices shaking, eyes empty. They ask how you did it. You tell them the truth. You stopped waiting. Some of them listen. Most don't. That's fine. You can't drag anyone out of a hole they built for themselves. You can only show them it's possible. You build small things at first, a routine, a habit, a promise to yourself. They look fragile, but they hold. You keep adding weight until they turn into armor. You find purpose in motion, strength in repetition. Every morning you wake up and choose to fight again, not because it gets easier, but because you've made peace with the pain. There will be days when the darkness creeps back. It always does. You'll feel it watching from the corner, waiting for you to stumble. Let it watch. Let it see what you've become. You don't chase it away. You stand there and breathe through it. It taught you more than the light ever did. You stop calling yourself broken. You're not. You're rebuilt, stitched together with scars and stubbornness. You're proof that destruction can be art if you survive it. You'll lose people along the way. Some can't handle the version of you that no longer bends. Others will try to tame you again, to remind you of who you used to be. Smile, let them talk, then keep walking. You don't owe anyone your softness anymore. The voice inside you changes. It's quieter now, steadier. It doesn't whisper failure. It counts steps. It tells you how far you've come, how much blood you've left behind, how close you are to something that might finally feel like peace. Not the fake kind, the kind you earn. One night, you'll stop mid-stride, realize the silence doesn't scare you anymore. The world still roars, but it's outside of you now. Inside, there's only pulse. Steady, relentless, yours. You start to dream again, not the naive kind, not fantasies. You dream of building something that lasts, of leaving claw marks on the walls so the next one who falls in knows it's possible to climb out. You dream of becoming the kind of monster the darkness warns others about, the kind that fought it and won. And when it hits again, and it will, you'll meet it standing. You'll look it in the eye and say, "I remember you. I remember what you tried to make me forget." Then you'll swing, not with hope, but with certainty. Because you've learned the secret. There's no winning or losing, only fighting. The moment you stop, you're done. As long as you keep moving, you're alive. The pain will still visit, but now it sits across from you instead of on top of you. You pour it a drink, nod, and tell it thanks for the company. Then you get back to work. That's mastery, not avoiding the dark, but using it. Years pass like minutes. The scars fade, but the memory stays sharp. You catch your reflection one day, eyes harder, shoulders heavier, a calm that wasn't there before. You realize you're the one people look at now when they talk about resilience. You didn't plan it, you just didn't quit. That's the whole trick. There's no ceremony, no trumpet, no crowd, just you still here. The pit's still out there, waiting for new souls to swallow, but it doesn't call your name anymore. You've learned its language, and it no longer understands you. So, this is where it ends. Not with a shout, not with victory music, but with breath. In, out, simple, real. You survived, and that's enough. Because in the end, that's all this world respects. Those who refuse to stay down, the ones who fight when the lights go out, who build fire out of pain, who rise not for glory, but because they can't do anything else. You are one of them now. A pause, a breath. So, this is where it ends, not with a shout, not with victory music, but with breath. In, out, simple, real. You survived, and that's enough. Because in the end, that's all this world respects. Those who refuse to stay down. The ones who fight when the lights go out, who build fire out of pain, who rise not for glory, but because they can't do anything else. You are one of them now. A pause, a breath. So, this is where it ends. Not with a shout, not with victory music, but with breath. In, out, simple, real. You survived, and that's enough. Because in the end, that's all this world respects. Those who refuse to stay down. The ones who fight when the lights go out, who build fire out of pain,
who rise not for glory, but because they can't do anything else. You are one of them now. Silence stretches, then a whisper, almost tender. Get up. Keep moving. The war doesn't stop, but neither do you.